y'all. We are back with another dense update. Here we go. CrossFit has announced the dates and locations for the 2025 CrossFit Games. They will be held in...
Let's go, baby!
And to no surprise, this was already being speculated. The Barbell Spin had posted just Albany, New York to his Twitter account not long ago. Rich Froning recently mentioned it on his podcast as well.
I don't know anything about Albany. I don't think we'll...
They did a regional this place
know.
before.
The CrossFit Games will only be a 3-day event. It will start Friday, August 1st, ending Sunday, August 3rd. And then, of course, the haters coming in hot on the Albany, New York announcement. John Woolley's story yesterday with nothing but the hater comments from it. Some of them are actually funny if you have a sense of humor. But, I mean... come on, when they first announced Madison, Wisconsin, all of us were, what Madison? If you've never been there, you don't really know what it has to offer. But there's definitely a lot of people just hammering the comment section. Let's be real, people. It's the CrossFit Games. It doesn't matter where it's at. People are still going to go. It's still going to sell out every year like it does. We also know the dates and location for the WFP tour events. The first tour event will take place in Indianapolis, Indiana, May 9th through 11th. That is also the same weekend as the in-person qualifying event, the French Throwdown. The second tour event taking place in, it says Phoenix Mesa, Arizona. That event will be held on August 31st through September 1st. Now, that is 1 week after the Masters and Teenage CrossFit Games. Phoenix Mesa, Arizona in the end of August. If you guys thought Texas was hot, the average temperature around that time of year is 101. Mesa is kind of a shithole too. This location is not great. Go pull up a Google map. It is on the far southeast side of town. Not a whole lot around there except for the Mesa airport. There will be no walking. You will be Ubering or driving for sure. If I had to give you any tips, I'd say stay in Queen Creek, find a hotel there. I wouldn't stay in Gilbert. I wouldn't stay in Mesa. But yeah, that's about a 45-minute drive from the Phoenix International Airport. It says it's 33 minutes. It's not. To get through all that, it's going to be close to 45 minutes, depending on traffic time. And then the final stop will be held overseas in Copenhagen, Denmark, and that will be December 18th through the 21st, 4 days before Christmas. The big question was, when are these online qualifiers going to be? The first tour qualifier will begin 2 days after the CrossFit Open completes. They also released all of the community division. There will be elite, intermediate, and scaled teams. Those will be co-ed, 2 men, 2 women. And then there will be teens and masters divisions. That will be same-sex partners. And then the second online qualifier for the challengers will be July 2nd through July 8th over the 4th of July week. The people making the most gripe about CrossFit and wanting something new are people in Europe. And this WFP doesn't really fare well for the Europeans. Before, they could do a semifinal and they didn't have to travel to the United States. But now, if they want to participate in the WFP, they're going to have to travel to the United States twice. More travel for them just to be a challenger athlete. We don't know a lot of what's going on behind the scenes when it comes to World Fitness Project. I mean, they have posted reels of them golfing and doing cartwheels on the golf course and hanging out at the beach in Hawaii, but I'm sure they're working really hard to get that season put together. Now, the CrossFit Games did release the rulebook for the 2025 season. The transgender policy has changed this year. You must register as the gender you were assigned at birth. So I would assume what is on your birth certificate. We already know that only one team from an affiliate can make it to the CrossFit Games. However, if 2 teams come out of one affiliate and both teams earn a spot to the CrossFit Games, you could then take those 2 teams and you could mix and match the players to make a new roster for that games team. Now, we know there's not going to be many affiliates out there that are going to have the capability of doing this. Although I did see that Guillermo Harris had posted a reel to his Instagram that just suggesting that he might be going team this next year. We know Angela DeChico and his team that competed last year will be making a go at it. He said that in the most recent podcast with Rich Froning. So those two teams will be battling it out. But if both of those teams make it to the games and then something happens to a team member on one of the other teams and they need to swap, they could do that and go to the games with a completely different team than who competed in the semifinal together. Prize money in the rulebook is based off of a 300K participant in the Open. Barbell Spin also posted a breakdown of percentage-wise how that looks. There was something in there that I had previously noticed, and that was that they only show 11 being paid out in the semifinals. And we know there needs to be a 12th because all of the other athletes coming out of an in-person qualifying event makes up 18, and they're taking a total of 30. There's still one more male and female, and we're not quite sure where that's going to come from just yet. Will that be a last chance qualifier? Will that be a wild card invite like Hunter McIntyre was invited in the 2019 CrossFit Games? Speaking of Hunter, Rich Froning actually called him out in the podcast, and Andrew Hiller followed up with a reel kind of poking at him and tagging him to make sure that he saw it.
Do one invitation.
Not many people know that because it was just on
it was just on that
Row live stream.
Yeah, so Hunter McIntyre, if he wants to come out and do the Mayhem Classic, come on, welcome, free.
Haven't we already seen how that plays out at the games
good at CrossFit
in 2019?
Essentially trying to see if he'll take the bait, if he would actually go and compete at a CrossFit event and try to qualify for the games. Now we know Hunter feels that CrossFit is on the downhill and High Rocks is going to be the new next big thing, but nobody wants to test the same workout over and over again. That's just boring. Mike Halpin of the Nona Knowable had posted this to his Instagram page. Based on CrossFit Games season prize information released, an athlete in 4th in the Open overall, 12th in the online semifinal, and 21st in the CrossFit Games will make a total of $0. And Adrian Conway really says it best. Harsh truth, and it will seem insensitive, but no one cares about any of those finishes. Makes logical sense to me. And that's from a guy who finished 21st at the CrossFit Games before. Pays to be a winner. That comment got 58 replies. But Dave did say in his recent weekend review that this is all based on open participation. So if there are more than 300,000 people who do the open, then the prize money will increase thereafter.
So again, it's this notion of if you really care about the sport and care about these athletes making more money, care about the affiliates, this is one way to see that just by participating in the open and engaging, you're making a difference and contributing to the overall cause.
There is a full breakdown of prize money in the CrossFit Games rulebook. I will post the link down below for you guys if you want to go check that out. And one other hot topic of the rulebook this year is the change to the hand protection. And now the CrossFit Games have added this sentence into the hand protection that basically states you can't have tacky or sticky grips. It doesn't say specific materials. Now, Frog Grips had posted to their Instagram the grips that you can and can't use that they have. The CrossFit Games did say that they will be working with the organizers of all of the in-person semifinal events to make sure that that rule is upheld at all of those events.
Got clarification from CrossFit, specifically Boz.
I just foresee this being one of those situations where it could get missed. You can use it for your online semifinal, but you're not going to be able to do it for an in-person semifinal. Justin Medeiros, Dallin Pepper, Jason Hopper sat down and did a podcast together. A lot of good comments on there. I think people really liked the vibe. It was just the three of them talking about past performances, what they've been doing, a little bit of trash talk. It really gave me an old Josh Bridges, Matt Fraser, Sevan podcast vibe. If you never watched those back in the day, the three of them all did a podcast together. It was pretty good. The first one was a little bit long, but you can check that out. Alexis Raptis video that Hiller put out.
All right, and you said going into this competition is the best you've ever felt.
Yeah.
In those years.
Oh, yeah.
And you've been a CrossFitter.
This summer will be 11 years. And I started at this gym. Came in here when I was 15.
Grandma.
Really good. He is making me a fan of every single athlete he puts a video out on, taking you into their homes and you're getting to see them with their families, everything that's about them on like a more personal level. The two of them sitting in the jacuzzi together, asking questions. And she just really seemed really comfortable with him. And so if you haven't seen that one already, be sure to go check that one out. My last video, I posted a reel to my Instagram and where I said if Jason Hopper, Dallin Pepper, Patrick Vellner, Yona Koski, Guy Harris, if all of you had gone to Dubai Fitness Championship, would Luka Jukic had won? And Luca came to my comment section and said yes. And to you, sir, I will say, I am looking forward to you proving me wrong in Indianapolis. And finally, you probably saw on my Instagram that the Sevan crew, Andrew Hiller, Taylor, his wife Lizzie, sweetest person on earth, Matt Souza, Patrick Rios, myself, and my daughter got to go out to Greg Glassman's in Arizona to attend the Broken Science Initiative kickoff. It was such an incredible weekend. I just have to say that every single person there was so incredibly down to earth, welcoming what Greg is doing and Emily Kaplan and that whole team there at MetFix and Broken Science Initiative. They are just so inspiring, and I can't wait to see what they do this year with that. Out. We shot Kill Taylor there. That was a lot of fun.
Come on! Let's go! Woo! Yeah! Whoa! Yeah!
I mean, seeing him puke was not fun. Nobody was able to beat Taylor in that workout. It was 150 burpee pull-ups. I think he did his first 50 in like 3:20, and then he fell off about 15 to 20 seconds on his middle 50, and then finished somewhere around, I want to say it was 12:15 was his time. A couple of people called in and tried to give a go at it, but yeah, that is not a workout anybody wants to do. Hiller and the boys playing knockout in Greg's garage. Was he? Susan's already out? And then they did max effort backboard touches. Souza beat their score and still had 20 seconds to spare. Sousa's got hops. At one point, I'm standing there just looking around, and Taylor walks by, and he's like, "We are in Greg Glassman's garage gym." Okay, great. I'm not the only one that feels that way. Definitely a very surreal experience to get to meet him. It was such a good time. That is all for this dense update. Be sure to leave a comment, like, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you're into that sort of thing, head over to my Instagram page where you can follow me there for all the latest happenings in the CrossFit community.